Hey everyone, just want to do a quick announcement before kicking off today's video. As many of you know, I did not attend Worlds this year. That's because I only have the time for one big Netrunner trip this year. You'd think Magnum Opus would be the obvious choice, but Netrunner being officially cancelled has actually changed my priorities. Personally, I've always felt that the glamour and hype of Worlds wasn't the thing that drew me into the game. Like many others, I've had very humble beginnings with Netrunner. It took me months of borrowing Tagor's cards before I finally made the dive to purchasing my own Netrunner set, and many more before I started hanging out with the UK Netrunner community at large. These people are the kindest, most welcoming souls I've ever met, making an outsider to the hobbies such as myself feel right at home. Yes, prior to this, I never was part of a regular board gaming group, and I just picked up board gaming as a regular hobby for less than a year. I found that the ability to connect on a personal level with the Brits was what compelled me to play this game I know and love, so it only feels right to pay tribute to these fine folk as a form of closure for Netrunner's official run. Thus, I will be returning to the UK for Netrunning in exactly 1 month's time, attending the 4th iteration of the annual charity gift tournament hosted by Richard. This is a Netrunner tournament where entrants pay for a set pair of identities for the tournament and all proceeds go to charity. This year's event promises to be bigger and better than ever. Rich has put in an immense amount of work to make this an unforgettable experience, and I'm already patting myself on the back for choosing to attend charity gift over Worlds. For those of you who can make it to the event on the 10th of November, it's a Saturday, event registration is still open. There are still auctions going on where you can bid on a set ID pairing, or you can dive into the Jank Tank, where Rich will prescribe you a pair of janky decklists to play on the day. I've won an ID pairing myself and have locked myself in, so do come drop by and say hi as well as chip in for charity. I'll be reliving the good old days by playing Noise. Yes, Noise! Make some noise because it's going to be paired with the ever enigmatic Biotech. This pairing was backed by the channel, the UK-based podcast hosted by Jono and Chris Dyer. They are a fantastic podcasting duo, and I always look forward to each and every one of their episodes, where they discuss various Netrunner-related topics, current events, as well as play a fun Netrunner-themed game at the end. Most recently, they did a game to see who can name the most cards of a given subtype, which is the inspiration for today's quiz. Nice segue, huh? Well, we are about to dive into today's content for real. Today we'll be doing another quiz, but it's not an art quiz, it's a subtypes quiz. Here's how today's quiz will work. There will be 6 sets of questions. Each set revolves around a single subtype. There will be 4 cards shown, and for each of the cards I want you to write down whether they have the named subtype or not. You'll get 1 point for each correct answer. Finally, there will be 1 question that I'll ask, asking for you to name a card outside of the 4 that have been shown that has the said subtype and fulfills a certain condition. You'll get 1 point if you can name any correct card fulfilling that condition. I think this is much better illustrated with an example, so here's the example question. So in this example question, the subtype that revolves around it is Mythic, shown over here. So I want you, for each of the 4 cards shown here, Mganga, Excalibur, Sadaka, and Kitsune, to tell me whether each of these cards have the Mythic subtype or not. Yep, again, for each correct answer, you get 1 point. Then at the end, after this, you will also tell me 1 Mythic card that has only 1 subtype. Okay, so yep, so you have to name 1 Mythic card outside of these 4. You know, it's across the entire card pool outside of these 4 that are shown here that possesses only 1 subtype. I'll give you a few moments to think about it and pause the video if you want to. It's just an example question, so no need to rack your brains too hard over it. Right? Answers up in 3, 2, 1. So you will get 1 point if you said that Excalibur was Mythic, 1 point if you said Kitsune was Mythic, and 1 point if you said Mganga was not, and 1 point if you said Sadaka was not Mythic. Finally, you get an additional point if you said Mother Goddess for the final question. because Mother Goddess has only one subtype, Mythic. So a couple of pointers to note here. The number of cards among the 4 on the left that possess the subtype is not necessarily 2. I could have anything from 0 to 4 of these cards that fulfill the Mythic subtype. And you'll notice for the card on the right, there might be more than one possible correct answer. In this case, there was only exactly one correct answer. Mother Goddess was the only other Mythic ice that fulfilled that condition. Right? So some additional rules, for those of you more interested in the rules. There is no enforced time limit, unlike the other quizzes. So pause the video and do the questions at your own time. When you have penned down your answer, you can unpause to review the correct answer. The card pool covers basically all legal cards, minus the community design magnum opus cards, which are Watch the World Burn and Hired Help. Most wanted list cards are, we don't care about the most wanted list, so banned cards like Aaron Marone are up for grabs. We also include the World Champion cards given out at Magnum Opus. Those will be part of this quiz. So those cards designed by, those World Champion cards that were most recently released are also up for grabs. Right, when you're ready, grab your pen and paper, and grab your thinking caps, because it's time to begin the quiz with question 1. This one revolves around the SysOp subtype. Do each of these 4 cards have the SysOp subtype? And in addition, you want to name one SysOp card from the HB faction. Pause the video if you need time. The answers will be revealed in 3, 2, 1. Right? So the twins and Bernie Smile are each SysOps, so you can get 1 point for each of those, and also 1 point if you said Ben Musashi and KP Lin were not SysOps. And you get an additional point for the HB one if you name either Ryan Knight or Mason Bellamy. Next question. Security subtype. For the bonus question, I'm not actually looking for the security subtype. I want you to name a card that has the security protocol subtype. This is different from the security subtype. Name a card with the security protocol subtype for the last question. Answers to be reviewed in 3, 2, 1. Alright, of the 4, only False Lead was a security subtype. The others, even though they have to deal with either damage or installing ice, are actually not security subtypes. Even though other cards that deal damage and or install ice, cards like the Cleaners, cards like House of Knives, and cards like Priority Requisition, those are all security cards. These are not. For security protocol, there are only 2, Fractal Threat Matrix and Black Level Clearance. Question 3 has to do with the CD subtype. For the last question, I want you to name a CD card from the Corp side. Answers in 3, 2, 1. Right, so CD cards are cards that generally have to deal with shady locations. But surprisingly enough, Rook Trading isn't actually CD, even though some other shady cards like not drug dealer, what's that called? Data dealer, the criminal resource that rotated is actually CD. For the bonus question, political dealings is the only court card with the CD subtype. Question 4. Which of these Anarch events are sabotages? I also want, for the final question, for you to name a sabotage card that was printed in the revised core set. Answers in 3, 2, 1. They all have the sabotage subtype. Yeah, isn't that amazing? The fun part is that actually all sabotage cards are actually events, except for Data Leak Reversal, which has since rotated. For the revised core set one, well, there are 2 of them, Forged Activation Orders and Demolition Ran. Account Siphon was also in the core set, but it's not in the revised core set. Question 5 revolves around the subsidiary subtype. I want you to look at these 4 Rain and Reverie Corp IDs and tell me which of these are subsidiaries. I also want you to name one subsidiary card not from Rain and Reverie. Answers in 3, 2, 1. Right, of the 4, only Saraswati is a non-subsidiary. And the only other subsidiary outside of the Rain and Reverie cycle is actually Scorpio's Defense Systems from Terminal Directive. All 5 questions so far have subtypes beginning with the letter S. For our final question, we are going to look at Link as our final subtype. Which of these 4 cards have Link as the subtype? I also want you to name a Link card that costs exactly 2 influence. Answers in 3, 2, 1. Right, so after browsing on Netrunner DB, I found that Link is very interesting because it seems to be a deprecated subtype. After creation and control, there were actually no other Link cards, Link was never ever used as a subtype ever again for new cards. Yeah, prior to creation and control, even cards like Compromise Employee had the Link subtype, anything that had to do with Link. But after that, they just dropped the subtype altogether for one reason or another. I'm not sure why either, but there you go. Of these 4, only Dyson Memchip was printed old enough to possess the Link subtype. Right, so that's the quiz. How many points do you get? For each question, 5 points were up for grabs, so the maximum score here is 30. Hopefully it wasn't too difficult. I know some of the newer cards, especially the community design, the World Champion design cards, probably escaped your mind since you didn't have much time to play it. Some of you don't even have physical copies of it. But hopefully everyone did fairly well in the quiz. Well, share your results in the comment section. Looking forward to hear from you. And till next time, thanks for watching. Thanks for playing the quiz. Happy net running. Goodbye.